Girl! Slay the house down boots, mama.
Now that was a bad choice.
Right. No. Don't try to change the subject. Spill the tea.
Okay, but what was she expecting?
Well, that bitch is crazy.
Honestly, pop off. We should have talked first.
Can you blame her?
She should probably drink a little less. Literally. Well, let's get into it then. It's time to spill the tea with Damen B.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Spill the Tea with Damen B. Another episode with Graham.
Hi.
Spill the Tea with Damen B and Gigi.
I love it. I love
catching on.
It's catching on, it's catchy, and everyone's saying it.
The two people on this
Yeah.
call.
The two people that are listening are out there saying it.
Shout out to the two listeners we got. So this episode we're talking about murder and crime. Murder.
Okay, it's one of my favorite subjects and topics. I love true crime. I am a true crime buff. And I know about all serial killers. You can ask me anything about any one of them. I know it all. Go.
Okay. What's your motive? How long have you been killing? I'm just kidding.
Well,
Where's the body?
We've often had discussions, Damon, about certain, times and things where we've said, if we had to.
If we had to get our hands dirty.
Right, we could.
We would wear gloves.
Yes, and we would figure it out, and we certainly wouldn't get caught right away like that woman that we were talking about last podcast. How does that happen?
I don't. Maybe her urges just took over, and
Well,
I
understand that. I get all of that, but if she's that,
stupid,
educated on all her true crime, how did she get caught so quickly?
That's true, because I know I hate watching true crime shows. Hate it. It creeps me out. But I've watched 2 or 3.
You've watched a few at my house, I'm sure.
Yes, I've watched a few, and then just in those few, I'm just like, they're telling me how to get away with it.
Right.
Like,
You picked up a lot of information there. If you had to do something,
yeah,
you'd be okay.
like, if I ever, just hypothetically, if I ever thought about, committing a crime, hypothetically, of course, hypothetically, I've thought about where the security cameras would be. What gloves would I wear? A jacket that I wouldn't want, don't need anymore.
Right, your
that I don't
hair, you
love.
can't leave your
My
hair anywhere. Oh my
And I'm
goodness.
oh, I'm having a crisis. I'm going blonde because of my sex life or something. Oh, that has nothing to do with me on camera.
Right. Right.
My eye color might change. Contact lenses.
Well, I'm just going to say, if you committed a crime nowadays, you're insane, because the way they have the DNA set up now, they can literally build a person on DNA. So a small, on the smallest, minuscule sample of DNA, they can tell your hair color, your eye color, your age, it's insane. Your height, almost your weight, I don't know. But if you commit a crime today, honestly, you have to, I don't think there's anyone smart enough, that I think lucky, but not smart enough to outsmart DNA today.
Well, and everyone's like, oh, people, they don't have my DNA on file. Well, let me tell you something, honey. Your relatives?
Absolutely. And they have solved so
Absolutely.
many crimes now through the Ancestry and
Yeah.
23andMe.
23andMe. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't commit a crime. They got me, girl.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Which I'm actually happy. I'm happy. Let me tell you something. I'm happy that they use these systems now, because I feel bad for all the unsolved murders out there, all the kidnappings and stuff.
Right. And it's the families who suffer.
Yeah.
And
So,
I do a little bit of work with all my expertise and knowledge with a place, a volunteer place, and it is really, really sad when somebody goes missing and the family has can't find them, and it is
Yeah.
just awful. Like, it's one thing for a family member, to die or even be murdered, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But to not then find them and never know what happened is just unbelievably sad. And so, yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
like
know.
that part.
I couldn't meet the families, like, I just couldn't because I don't wanna feel that pain, I don't wanna feel the devastation, I don't wanna put myself in their shoes because
Yeah, it is
just thinking
sad.
about it, oh my god,
And they go their whole lives. I mean, that's what happens after, is
Yeah.
they just go their whole lives. That becomes their lives, is looking for their loved one. And,
Oh,
so
well, I think they're coming out on Netflix with a documentary of this mother who, like, tracked down the Mexican drug cartel or something
oh,
and, like,
wow.
took down, like, 11 or 15 people or something, and then she finally got killed, but her goal was to, like, find her daughter and stuff, and then I think she figured out her daughter had died or something,
Oh my
and so
goodness.
then her new goal was to kill all the people
Wow.
who she anyways, I was just like, "Way to go, mom," like, hell yeah,
Well,
I'm
and statistically, it is
Mhm.
women, who are the ones, if someone does go missing, who are the ones that look for them. I mean, men
Really?
do and fathers do, but statistically, it'll be sisters, aunts, mothers, sisters will be the ones that for the rest of their lives are looking for their loved one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which it's quite a burden for some people, for sure.
I didn't
Okay, so we
yeah.
brought that down like really quickly. We we went from having fun to not having fun.
Yeah, that
I
well
don't like that. Let's
okay,
change
let's
the
get back to mine.
subject.
So, who
Yeah.
are we killing next? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Who's on your hit
Uh,
list?
yeah, who's on my well, this hot guy turned me down last week. Just kidding.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
so there's actually crime, so I'm not gonna say where I live,
Oh
but I
goodness.
live in this building where it's across the street from a homeless shelter and a safe injection site.
Oh my goodness.
So, so the police, firefighters, and paramedics, the triad, if you will, of emergency services,
The triad.
and the triad of emergency services of hot men, I might add,
Well,
are on my street constantly.
well, that's
So
not the worst thing in the world then for you.
no, when I
Really?
oh, this was funny. When I cut my thumb like 2 months ago with a
Mhm.
knife, I was slicing a vegetable and it just nicked my thumb and it was bleeding heavily. And there was a paramedic outside because someone had overdosed and trying to bring them back to life. And I go, I wonder if I should go down and
Oh my
ask if I'm
god.
okay.
Oh my god. David. Oh,
I was just like,
I hope you
hey.
didn't.
No, I didn't because I didn't want to look weak in front of like a hot paramedic. Be like, hey, I just cut my thumb
Oh, but it had
upstairs.
nothing to do with you didn't want to interrupt them life saving.
No, because I'll
Okay.
tell you why. The one day, my boss actually was driving me home from a work event with her, fiancé, and they were trying to bring someone back to life
Oh
on the ground,
goodness.
homeless woman yelling, "Don't try to bring him back. He's already gone. Stop it." And I'm just
Oh,
like, "Oh my god." I seen his
yikes.
face white like a ghost. I threw
Oh.
up. I can't
Oh.
handle it.
Oh
Oh
my
my god.
goodness.
Let me tell you, if someone ever committed murder, don't call me to help because I don't have the stomach for it. I am gonna vomit everywhere. That crime scene would
That
be
DNA is
contaminated.
gonna be everywhere.
And let me tell you, honey, if someone brings me into police station, I'm singing like a canary. I cannot keep a secret. I am not.
Oh my
I
goodness.
just can't. I can't do it. I don't have the balls. I don't have the guts.
You're just not serial killer material.
I am not
That's what
serial
you're
killer
saying.
material. No,
Right.
because I think I have too many emotions
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
can't see blood. Watching Grey's Anatomy, I can't do it. There's too much blood when they go into surgery. I just can't do it.
It's not even real.
It's not even real. I mean, I tried watching it for the
Oh.
hot men, Doctor
Right.
McSteamy and McDreamy. I can't do it.
They
The
were
blood's too
hot.
much. I know.
Uh-huh.
So I just have to Google images of them with any shirts on. Um,
With their searching garb on.
Was it? Yeah, exactly. Um, so to recap that, please don't call me for a crime.
Yeah, I won't.
Yes. Also, people will text and call and have their cell phone on them when they commit crimes. What are
Oh,
you
I know.
thinking?
What are
What?
they thinking? And here's
Mm,
even worse in this society that I can't believe is people who are watching something unfold and are videotaping it and or like on their phone and not doing anything. They're
well,
they're
okay.
you know what I mean? Like they're videoing it, yet that
Yeah.
person is in trouble and they're doing nothing to
No,
help.
I see 2 sides to this coin.
Oh, I
My
see
first
one.
r Okay, well, my first reaction is like, jump in and save them, but on the
Right.
other hand, people are so crazy nowadays. Like, I think someone had a knife on the TTC and he was chasing someone with it, and
Good
people weren't
God.
jumping in to help him because this guy looked nuts. And his knife, he was just swinging that knife around, but people were like recording and trying to stand as like running away from him, and no one was helping this guy. Which obviously, like, jump in, help the guy, but you don't want to get slashed with a knife.
No, you don't, but, um, I think that's where, we're going in this world sort of humanity-wise,
Yeah.
and you have to, weigh the you do have to weigh the situation too, you
Mm.
know, like you're saying, you're not gonna jump in, if somebody's running around with a knife, one person. But maybe instead of filming, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people get talking and figure out how they can stop this person or take them down or something, you know? Like, it just
Yeah.
seems like a world where we're watching everything and yet not doing anything, and I've seen things where, like a person on a train track or, in the
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
subways, and everybody's just standing there videotaping it. And
Right.
nobody's
Oh, yeah.
reaching out to pull them up. It's
I've
like
seen that when someone got like will push someone down onto the
mhm,
tracks, everyone whips out their phone to record, but yet only one person's trying to save their life and pull them
right,
up.
and everybody else is recording instead of helping that person get that person up, like, it's very strange to me. I find that very, very strange. But
Okay,
I
y
also find it very strange that, everybody these days, they're out partying and posting everything online, and if we're gonna have a party, they're posting it online. Like, are you dumb? Every
yeah.
cop in the community is reading that, and they're going, "Okay, well, we'll be down there at, like, 12 o'clock, shutting
Well, I
this thing
think
down."
that's what used to happen in the olden days because now, well, I mean, in Toronto, no one cares
Mm.
if you're posting about a party unless
Oh.
someone's calling the cops on you. No one.
Yeah, yeah, but I just mean, like, young underage drinking and stuff
Oh,
like
is
that.
that a thing?
I don't know. Is it? I don't know
Is
anymore. It
it?
was in my day, I was in bars.
You know what? No, when we lived up in that small town, I remember the cops came to a few parties that I were at, and
Well, that's what I
it,
mean, and it was all over the on the internet, so they knew
but
when it was happening.
they knew, but when
Mhm,
they came, they just wanted to make sure everyone was safe. You know, no one said stop drinking. An officer did ask me the one time what I had in my bottle, which was actually just water. I wasn't
mm,
drinking that night,
mm.
and but he
They
would just
didn't
want to make
stop
sure.
you.
No one stopped anything. They were looking for somebody, actually. They didn't care that we were
Oh,
just kids, like, having a good time and drinking, which we were all 15, 16, 17
yeah.
like-year
Well,
old.
I think in that small town that was kind of that they were like,
I was
"Well, we
like,
got nothing else to do."
right?
So
No,
it was kind of
seriously, I was like,
acceptable.
"Well, they're
Yeah,
not selling drugs,
yeah,
so
yeah,
they might
there
be
wasn't a
doing
lot of
some,
that
but"
going on, up
yeah.
there, but I know when I was young, you didn't tell, you told your friends, but there was no way of putting it out on any social media. So we would go somewhere and, you know, we would never see a police officer because they would never know about it.
So, it's so weird because I guess it is a crime, but
Yeah,
it's not it's not a
it
big
is a
crime,
crime.
but it's
But
a
then
crime.
again, we would be underage, then we'd drive home, you
Oh
know.
god.
Yeah.
Under the
So,
influence?
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my
Everybody was
god.
driving and yeah, it was insane.
Oh.
So, I
Okay.
think some good things have come over the years.
Grandma, don't say anything else without a lawyer present.
Exactly. We were up to a lot. It was probably a good thing we did have cameras around. We were up to some stuff.
Right, actually, that's the other thing. People will get in accidents now, but someone in the car is usually recording, and then when the accident does happen, it's all recorded. It's just
Yeah, yeah, and they have I guess, cameras on the cars now and
yeah, there's
stuff like that.
dash
What
cams.
is gross, though, is when there's an accident and people are recording, like, driving by and if you have a fatal accident, and
Mm,
people are recording that, posting it on social media before the families have even been told, that there's been an accident, and
okay,
that's
well,
horrible.
see, now I'm gonna say the other side of the coin,
Mm.
which which I don't think there's no other side of the coin.
I don't think
Um,
there's another side of that coin, but
it's,
go ahead.
people will post on, like, Facebook groups, like, I know there's one for Northern Ontario, which,
Mhm.
like, there's an accident on Highway 11, you know,
Right.
people be aware, be safe.
Right.
Um,
I don't think you need to post a photo though. I'm talking about people that
oh,
they post
no.
like a photo of the vehicle or there's been some people who have posted literally like a dead person.
Oh,
You know what I mean? In the car or in, dead people.
well,
And
there's never a bad time to take a selfie. That
can you imagine you're out
if
there?
the lighting's right, and from the
Hey,
flames of the car.
just turn this way for a second. You're
Yeah,
reaching in.
I know. Could you blink? Thanks.
Oh my god.
Could you not blink in this next one? Thanks.
Oh my god, yeah, so that's kinda gross. I think cell phones these days are good and evil, just like everything else. There's a little
Yeah.
good in them, a little evil in them.
Well, I like cell phones. So a lot of people think I don't like to be tracked or I don't like the government watching my location. But to me, it's like if I'm ever murdered or like,
Mhm,
someone kidnaps me, good
mhm.
luck trying to get me in the van. I'm like 250 pounds, but like, um, if that ever did
Trying to
happen,
pull you in and you're just standing
right?
there. "I'm not
I'm just
going. I'm not
be like,
going."
go back to the gym and lift heavier weights, buddy, because it ain't happening. um,
Oh,
it's like
okay.
you can find me easily. I have my location on. I really like all my best
Oh my
friends. A
goodness,
lot
you
of
know
my
what?
family
I
have
am
it.
like a mother that if they would have put a chip in my kids, I would have done it. So, I'm just saying, I watch
Right.
enough of that true crime and those stories, and rightly, um, I wasn't a helicopter parent because that wasn't a thing, when
What's a
when my
helicopter
kids
parent?
well, where they're just, like, constantly watching you over their children, and they can't go anywhere
Oh,
or walk anywhere, and I
right.
wasn't that because I was not raised that way, and we did live in a small town in Northern Ontario, so I wasn't but I had watched enough shows that where if somebody was like disappeared, even
Mhm.
disappeared, maybe not even criminally, there was no way of finding them. And I just thought, wouldn't it be great? You know how they put the chips in dogs? Like, wouldn't it
Okay.
be great if they could put one in a child? But
Just till
then
they're 18.
just yeah, and then remove it at 16 or 18, like
Yeah.
whatever. But or it just runs out.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
then that would people would never have that because 'cause they'd say, "Well, it doesn't run out," and there'd be all kinds of conspiracy theories about that. But
Well,
I
everyone has one now because of the COVID
oh,
vaccine.
right. So,
Everyone's
there you
chipped.
go. They should have just had the fake COVID when my
The
kids were
fa
little. I would have been happily having them vaccinated and
Give 'em 4!
so I
1
can
in each
track
leg,
them.
1 in each arm.
And I do think there is stuff for, like, kids now that you can put on their backpacks. The problem
Mm,
being is that if somebody does kidnap a child, the first thing that goes out the window is the phone in the backpack.
yeah,
So,
I know.
I mean, if it was under the skin, the scary part about that is if it was a thing and I'm gonna get gross here, but if somebody knew about that, the next thing that would go would be that under the skin.
Oh,
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's
okay.
nasty, right? So,
That's Okay, that
So,
is really nice.
yeah,
Well, then you get into opening people up, and that's
that's what
where
I
I can't
mean.
handle it.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
Grey's
Now
Anatomy.
you're gonna be sick.
Oh my god. But see, that's the good thing about cell phone. You know what's crazy? Some people, when they snatch people, they don't take away their cell phones right away, which is crazy to me. They just throw them in a trunk. Whereas I'm like,
Yeah, I just
okay.
watched the craziest, story or listened to, um, craziest story. This girl was a daughter of a police officer in some small town in United States, and she was kidnapped out of her home. She was a mother. She had little children, and she had her cell phone, and she was able to actually dial 911, had it underneath her, and they listened for it was a long time, and I don't know why, like, it was such a mess up with the police. They she actually died, and they could have caught this guy, like, 500 times over. They
No
messed up, the
way.
911 wasn't communicating or something. But anyway, she had her cell phone on and had called 911,
Okay,
and they
that's
were
the another
following
thing.
that car.
That's the other thing. I absolutely hate. Okay, so I've called 911 before,
Mhm.
and the response time, let me tell you something. I don't feel safe. No,
No.
no, 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 no. If you're in an emergency, call a friend because
Yeah, yeah.
no, seriously,
Well,
because
I'm telling you where I live now, we
Mhm.
were simply told they won't come.
Oh, great.
Like, so if you're robbed or something like that, they will not come. So,
What?
yeah. I was like,
Okay,
that's
so
exactly I was like, "What? What do you
uh,
mean?"
in the winter time by my house, there was an accident that happened just outside my house, and I was about to walk to the gym to meet a friend, and I want to say like 8 p.m. or something, and it was a weeknight, so
Mm,
obviously people were drinking because there's
mhm,
nothing else to do, and so he got into a crash outside my house in the snowbank. His
mm.
car was fully like in the snowbank, his head like on the steering wheel, the window was down.
Good
Oh, it
lord.
was
Was it
great, like
where? Is that when you were younger or now?
no, that was probably when I was in grade 11. Grade
Oh,
11,
okay,
grade 12.
okay,
Yeah. So, yeah, it was definitely grade 10 or 11. So,
okay.
anyways, um, so my friend actually, she pulled up because she was gonna pick me up, and I was just like, we went over and be like, "Sir, are you okay?" He was unresponsive. Dialed 911, and then we were going through the questions, and like, is he breathing? And I was like, I can't tell. It was like minus 40 degrees because
Oh
up
my
north with
goodness.
the
Yeah,
wind chill.
yeah,
I was just like, I don't know what to do. They're like, has he been drinking? I'm like, well, you obviously can't smell. It's too cold to smell.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I was like, "I don't think so." And they're like, "Can you put your head in the car?" And I was like, "No." I was just like,
Yeah,
I've
they
seen
want you
enough
to do
I've
everything.
I was like, "I've seen enough scary movies where someone
Mm.
puts a hand or a face in there
Yeah,
and you
and
get
then he
s
grabs it.
yeah, it grabs it. No, thank you." Um, it was 45 minutes before someone showed
Holy,
up, and the
wow.
hospital right around the corner.
Yeah,
I was just like,
that's what
"How
I was
long
just
is this
thinking.
gonna
You probably
be?"
could have pushed this vehicle to the hospital
No, I
that
told
time.
the lady the 911 operator, I said, "I got a toboggan with, like, a thing. We can lay him down and take him
Yeah.
to, like, the hospital, leave the
Oh,
car here. How long is this gonna take?" She's like, "Oh, the officer's almost there." Kept saying that, 45 minutes. And he
wow.
was just like, "Yeah."
And there's
And then
a police department right in that town
right in
too.
town,
Yeah,
right in town. And
wow.
I was just like, What else is happening tonight? Okay? Like, I'm sorry, what were you doing at the police?" Actually, I don't think anyone's in that police station,
Yeah, I
to be
don't think
honest.
so either.
No, at 8 o'clock at night, they're all home, but, I mean, if someone gets a call, you should have at least 1 or 2 in the town to respond,
Right.
especially if the
Yeah,
station's in the town.
yeah.
God, I was just like, "How crazy is that?"
Well,
Like
luckily, where I've always lived and where you've lived up until now,
yeah.
we don't see a lot and haven't seen a lot of crime, you know.
Actually actually, we used to have people come into the
Dear.
school and tell us about people getting snatched, like,
What?
mostly
Where?
girls, off Highway 11 because
Oh,
if
there wasn't too
you
much
would
of
never
that,
s
I don't think so.
okay, there
Yeah.
wasn't too much of it,
Mm,
but maybe once in a blue moon, I don't
mm.
know. People get snatched.
Yeah, there
Um
was always that one case, Melanie Ethier.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, she's on all the signs. Oh, I
yeah,
always felt so
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
and, but I've been listening to the podcasts on that, and actually, I don't know, but it sounds like it was probably, a close family friend who has since passed away. That seemed to be where the investigation was leading, uh, in the podcast I listened to, so
That's so upsetting. Like, if knowing it was a family friend, isn't it always someone close to like,
well, that's what they
oh,
say, like, normally now your serial killer people, no. They choose people that and that's sort of the MO, is they
oh,
choose
okay.
people that they don't know, because then they're not really that traceable, right? There's no
Yeah,
connection. So,
yeah,
serial
smart.
killers are different than your like this guy would be like a pedophile or somebody who is snatching children, like a child. um
Yeah,
so that is usually, yes, somebody that's close to the family. Usually it's not usually a stranger um
that's so
issue. Hmm.
that's so sad because I've heard stories where it was a close family friend, and then it just something happens. Actually, speaking of that, my mom took me to like one of her friend's house, and her dad used to offer me to take me for truck rides because he had a
Oh
truck or
god.
whatever. And you know how clingy I was to my mom, like the
Yes,
umbilical
thank
cord
goodness.
was so attached still. And I'm
uh
like, no. And my mom's like, oh, go for a ride, go. Never went. And then like a few years later, they found like kitty porn on his computer
oh my
and
god.
jailed. But I was just like, and it was like homemade stuff too with his like
Oh.
friends. Like I think they took a couple of them down. So I
Oh.
was just like, and my mom's like, "Thank God you were so clingy to me." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit,
Yeah.
Sherlock." Like,
Yeah, really.
not like her just offering me up. Oh,
Offering
baby,
you
go
up,
for the
here you
truck
go.
ride.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get out there.
get out there. Go for the truck ride.
Yeah, you need a truck
Right,
ride.
right.
With Mr. Pedophile.
Wi- well, it wasn't a van, to be fair. It was a truck.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Oh my
you
goodness,
know,
that's crazy. Because that
isn't
is
that
a
crazy?
very small community, so it is crazy. But in every community, there's someone you can be
Yeah.
guaranteed that's up to, something like
And
that.
okay, so with your generation growing up, you guys didn't lock your doors, did you?
No.
Yeah, crazy. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, we would go to bed at night and just go to bed. You wouldn't
Mm,
lock the doors, and even when I was, like, a young mother
mm.
on my own, I didn't lock my doors.
Now you're just, you're
Well, the
calling the demons. Like,
well,
I don't know.
now with your grandpa, he's, like, got it in here, it's like Fort Knox.
Is it really?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
the cops won't show up, so I
every
understand.
yeah, exactly. So he's got every door locked and whatever here, yeah, so I feel safe here all the time.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because we did
Well,
have the Nova Scotia shooter.
oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he just went into random homes, so that was crazy.
Yeah, a little wild. A little
Mhm.
wild.
Um,
Um, see, the crime rate here in Toronto, it looks high. If you look at the stats on the website,
mhm.
a lot of crime happening. And then it makes me question why I choose to live here. Um, I
Well,
try not to look at
which I
it.
think most people try not to look at it.
I try not to watch the news.
Everybody's everybody's head is stuck way, way, way in the sand in Toronto.
But let me tell you, when I go out, I'm visual. And if I have headphones on, I usually take them off before I head into like the subway or something. I don't really do that walking home. Like, I'm always aware, vigilant. Oh, I carry coyote spray on me. Well, okay, so my mom got me coyote spray because where I used to live, I used to go walking and there was coyotes back there.
Oh, yeah,
So sh
yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Mhm.
So she did get me coyote spray from that. Now I'm just happy I have it in my pocket, but
Yeah.
it did expire a year and a half ago, so now I'm worried if I pull it out and go to spray, it just nothing comes out.
Nothing's gonna happen to the
Nothing,
first.
and I'm gonna be like, "Don't make me press this button," as I'm pressing it.
And they're like, "What?
What's gonna
What
happen?
is what's happening?"
And then I'm gonna have to
Nothing.
throw it and run, but,
Yeah,
like,
throw it at them and run.
throw it at them and run. Oh, well, I know what you taught me. Oh, this is when you let me and, one of your daughters go
God.
to the beach or whatever,
Mhm.
and before you let us go, because we were still young,
Mhm.
oh, you were like, "If someone ever approaches you or try to take you, stick your fingers," you're like, "I know this is gonna sound gross, but you just gotta do it. Stab your fingers in their eye and scoop it out." And scoop it out.
Oh my
I was like,
goodness.
"What?" I was in my head, I was like, "I don't think I can do that. I don't have the guts for that." I was like, "I'll scream. I can scream,
Yeah, because
but."
I would always tell my kids, and that was one thing that you'll hear over and over from police on those true crime,
Mhm.
things is that if you're ever kidnapped or picked up or anything like that, scream your head off. Like, because a
Yeah.
lot of people, they'll tell you, like, "Be quiet and don't say anything."
Fuck
And
that.
yeah, no. They tell you, "Just go absolutely insane berserk," because oftentimes that'll be enough to scare that person away because they don't want a big scene, right? So
Yeah.
that I'm sure I did tell you is to scream your heads off and then stick
Yeah.
your fingers in their eye sockets and pull their eyeballs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I you didn't say both, but
Oh, okay, just one. Well,
yeah.
one would do it, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Right? Well, they'd be like, "What did he look like?" I'd be like, "He's a pirate."
He's got no eye, he's got a patch.
He's got a Actually, that would narrow down the search.
It would. It would for sure. For
And
sure.
then I would have his DNA on my fingers. I'd be like, "I
Yes.
got the goop," and just, like, plop it in an evidence let me tell you, in a paper bag because we don't do plastic.
That's right, and I've taught you that too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, no plastic. Paper,
No plastic.
always paper, people.
Oh.
And it's not for recycling, it's for the purposes of keeping your evidence. Like, they've messed up so much evidence by putting it in plastic. When I listen
Really?
to these, oh my goodness, because plastic actually sweats. And
I
so
didn't know
it
this.
screws up like your if you have a DNA sample, right? They've had people where they take their fingers and they put them in, you're supposed to put them in paper bags and they've screwed up and put them in plastic bags and all that DNA under their fingernails, no good. So
No.
paper, paper, paper all the time.
Oh my I didn't know. Okay, that's a good tip for
Yes.
the 17 listeners listening
Yes.
in. Always carry a paper bag.
Which is
It's
getting easier now because
yeah.
remember our last podcast where we were talking about reusable bag, but
Yep.
if you don't have a reusable bag, they will pack your groceries in the most ridiculous, hard to carry paper bags. Well, take one of those home, keep it with you in case you come across a crime scene.
Evidence.
Hmm. Yes, exactly.
Oh. What the fuck? I'm just like
Who is listening to this? I
yeah,
just want
who's I apologize. What the you're like, "My takeaway from this podcast, always keep a paper bag on me, baby." And scream and scoop out their eyes.
scoop out their eyes, scream, and let's all get on the board with this tracking our kids. Like throw a little what is that called that you put in the pets?
A
The
chip,
little a
a
chip.
chip. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get the chips in the kids and they can go anywhere. You're
What?
just following them. You're sitting on your couch eating bonbons, watching where your
That's
kids are.
that's a hot take. Let's throw chips in the kids. If you ever run for, like, a political thing, that should be your slogan.
Right.
Let's put
Right.
chips in the kids.
Yeah, and put the you know what we could do is so that the criminals don't try and cut them out, is just put them wherever,
Oh,
like
it's randomly assigned.
randomly assigned on the
Oh.
body, so they just can't tell where it is. Mhm.
Okay,
And it would be
okay.
very small and not detectable. Mhm.
Damn, okay,
You're
okay.
welcome. You're welcome, world.
I'm trying to think of scenarios where that's not a good case. I mean, like, in airports, are you gonna be tackled to the ground?
Well,
Like,
no, because everybody would have one, right? All kids would
oh,
have one.
just
So,
the children.
just the children. It would only be
Just
to 16.
okay.
I feel like 16 is an appropriate age. At that point, like, you're gonna have your kids cutting them out of themselves after that.
Well,
So,
yeah, and we don't want that,
no, we
so
don't want that. So,
we wanna
16.
take them back.
Mhm.
Take them back, get it properly removed,
Right.
and
Or it just runs out. Like, it
or it
just
just
has
runs
no
out.
like, the shelf life is 16 years or 15 or whatever it is.
Um, Crime, don't do it, you're gonna get
Well,
caught,
if you do it, carry gloves, try not I don't know if you can shave your whole body, I don't
what would you
know,
do with the
bathe in
hair?
alcohol before you do it. I don't know what to do.
Um,
There's not a lot you could do. Like, if you
maybe
leave an eyelash, you're in trouble.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no point of doing crime. If you're gonna
Just
commit a
forget
huge
it.
crime,
Yeah.
let's
Just
do
forget it.
petty crime. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, let's forget it. Okay. Okay,
Just
okay.
don't do it.
Thanks for tuning in with Spill the Tea with Damon B and Gigi. um, don't do crime and have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Again, I'm your host, Damon B, and I hope you enjoyed spilling the tea with me.